Hi there, it's Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com. I'm here with a different type of video. A lot of you asked me about commanders, and we had a commander tournament for F&M today, and I chose, instead of running my go-to Tesa deck, just to try a new card before Tulare Community College steals the deck tech and puts it on his channel. I'm going to get to it first, Tulare. So this is going to be Liliana, Heretic Healer. Liliana Heretic Healer is a 2/3 that flips. We'll show the other. It has lifelink, and when it dies, it puts a 2/2 zombie. So we're going to make a zombie deck around this. And I threw this deck very, very quickly. I just 8 pieces from Tesa and from Grim and made a mono black zombie deck with Liliana being the choice card. As she's a planeswalker that can be your commander. So there's the backside. Each player discards a card. The negative X is especially brutal in Commander. Return target non-legendary creature with converted mana cost X to the graveyard of the battlefield. And the -8, which I did get off, whenever a creature dies, return on the battlefield in your control. So Commander, it's pretty easy to flip a Liliana and tick her up because of the politics of Commander. So there is our Commander, Liliana. So the first one we're just going to run, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 25 basic swamps, so just good old basic swamps. And I probably should have a Mutavault in here. I just didn't. Again, I threw this together very quickly. So the first little group is our situational lands, or just our trying to think of the word that I'm looking for, but Bojuka can exile a graveyard. There's plenty of strategies in Commanders that utilizes graveyards, like our own deck does. So Bojuka can actually take care of that problem, especially the red Commander deck from the 2015 or 2014 Commanders. And then Caverns of Soul makes your zombies unblockable. And then we have the mana ramp, which is going to be in the form of a Nykthos Shrine of Nyx, an Urborg Tibi Yawgmoth, which says each land is a swamp an additional type, which isn't that relevant in this deck until we get more non-basics. And then a Leech-ridden Swamp, because why not? It's a swamp. And it does come to play tap, though. A Spawning Pool that can turn into a black creature that regenerates, can help protect Liliana. Baron Moor that can cycle in case you get mana flooded. And at Thespian Stage, which is going to want to be either Nykthos Shrine of Nyx, or our next card being the Cobble Coffers. So Cobble Coffers is very, very good in this. You can generate a lot of mana with it. So our other ramp in here, of course, with the Cobble Coffers is going to be the Cryptghast. Cryptghast turns... So whenever you tap a swamp mana, you add additional. That's a great card. And then we have the Sol Ring, staple in any Commander deck. I actually wish Sol Ring would be banned in Commander, but they're never going to do it since they printed them all in the Commanders. And then Expedition Map goes and searches usually for Nykthos Shrine of Nyx or Cobble Coffers. So that's another great card. So the first pile I like, this is kind of my obsession with Commander and Tiny Leaders. This is almost every deck revolves around this combo. This is going to be a Buried Alive. Search library for 3 creature cards put in your graveyard. And then you're going to go get Hacken, the Stormglood Scourge, which allows you to cast Knights from your graveyard, and you can cast it from your graveyard. Undead Gladiator helps hit Hacken in the graveyard. It's a discard effect. Corpse Connoisseur is like a Buried Alive, which can go get a creature. Usually you go get the Hakon Hacken, however you pronounce it. And then Ashes of the Fallen, you name Knights. So each creature card in your graveyard is the chosen creature type in addition. So let's see here. So the Hakon and the Ashes of the Fallen is such an amazing combo. So then all your zombies in your graveyard will be Zombie Knights, and you can cast any of them over and over and over, which allows you to go infinite with the Mem Knight. He'll be a Knight as well, and a card like either Ashnod's Altar or Phyrexian Altar, and we'll show those in a second. So we have Nameless Inversion, just because it's so powerful with Hakon, and then the Gravecrawler that can just keep coming back from the graveyard. So the next is going to be our Lords. So Black has a lot of Lords right now in Commander. So you have a Cemetery Reaper, all zombies get +1/+1, and you can exile a creature card, put a 2/2 zombie. The best one, the Undead War Chief, makes zombie spells cost less, and it's and gives them +2/+1. Lord of the Undead, which is really cool, return target zombie card from your graveyard to hand. That actually works with the Nameless Inversion, and so you can kind of machine gun down people's commanders. We have the new Risen Executioner, which you can actually go get with Buried Alive to then cast, and then it gives all zombies +1/+1. The Brass Herald, which is also pretty good, it says comes into play, choose a creature type, they get +1/+1, and reveal the top 4 cards that I put all creature cards with the chosen type. So you name zombies there. And then this one gives Death Touch and +1/+1. Alrighty, so then our next, so there's our Lords. Here's our utility cards in the deck. So you have Carrion Feeder, that's a sack outlet for Liliana. Sacrifice a creature ++1 counter on it. We have an Antiqua Husk, it's +2/+2. So you can sack creatures. We have a black market. Whenever creatures put in a graveyard from play, put a counter on it. This helps us mana. This should have been in the other, classified in the other. And then these two are both mana up. Sacrifice a creature, add 2 colors to mana your mana pool. And the altar is 1 mana of any color. Usually, of course, in this one will be black. Alrighty, so the next set of cards are going to be our Reanimation, since we're going to put a lot of stuff in the graveyard. So we have a Gravespawn Sovereign, which says tap 5 untap zombies, put a target creature from a graveyard into play under your control. You can actually tap them as part of the activation cost, so that it doesn't matter if they have summoning sticks or not. Patrons of Beta, each player chooses a creature type. In this case, we're going to choose zombies, and they're all coming back. Machias, all our cards get Undying, and whenever human deals damage to you, it dies. Chainer, which is really cool. We can pay 3 life to put a creature card from the graveyard into play under your control, and it becomes a nightmare, and then all nightmares get +1/+1. Being able to generate a ton of mana through Cobble Coffers and whatnot, you can actually put a ton of creatures on the battlefield. One of my favorite cards in Commander. Usually every black deck that I make has a Chainer in it. Then a Zombie Apocalypse. Return all zombie creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Very good when we're filling up the graveyard. In fact, this deck might want a little more ways to fill up the graveyard. And Infernal Caretaker. When it's turn face up, return all zombie cards from your graveyard to their owner's hand. So you get them all back for more ammunition. Next one is a draw spell. Everything that helps us draw. So this is a Grave Defiler, has kind of the same ability as Brass Herald. Look at the top 4, and then you can get zombies. Skull Clamp, whenever it dies, you get 2 cards, another staple in Commander. We have Necromancer Stockpile, it's going to help us draw a ton of cards and put a 2/2 zombie creature. And throw Haken into the graveyard, Gravecrawler in the graveyard, etc., etc. Gravemore Muse, which loses life and gains life for each zombie we control each upkeep, or loses life and draws cards. Phyrexian Arena loses a life and draws a card per upkeep. And the Grim Haruspex, which whenever non-token creature goes dies, draw a card. So we have plenty of draw card spells there. We have a Twisted Abomination that swamp cycles. We usually do Swamp Cycle. We'll get it back eventually. Alright, so then we have Utility Artifacts. Utility Artifacts here. You have the Cryptic Gateway, tap 2 and tap creature control. You put target card from your hand on the play that shares a creature type. You can go crazy with this card. Just put tons of zombies into play. Again, you can tap those as part of an activation cost. It doesn't matter if they have summoning sticks or not. Grimmer of the Dead. You put a study counter on it, and then you remove 3 study counter. Put all creature cards from all graveyards on the battlefield under control, and they're zombies. Just a zombie, goes with the zombie tribal. Nim's Death Mantle, equipped creature gets +2 and is a black zombie. Whenever non-token creature is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, you pay 4. If you do, return it. So there's some cool combos with this. If you put it on like Grave Titan, you can go, I believe, infinite with anything that adds 3 creatures into play. You can go infinite with the Ashnod's Altar and Nim's Death Mantle, because you just sack everything and you're up net 2 up every time. Then we have Mimic Vat, is put a token on the battlefield. There's a copy of Exile Creature, imprint when it goes to the graveyard. Again, we have this is just such a great card in Commander in general, but in our deck we have plenty of things that has enter the battlefield effects. Then we have just kind of, these are just good cards, I guess. We have Messenger, it comes back once, deals some damage. Wither Wretch, it's a necessity in any zombie deck. There's so many graveyard-based strategies in opponent's graveyards you can just get rid of. And then Ophiomancer is just one of the best black Commander cards ever printed. You get a 1/1 Death Touch Snake that helps protect you in Liliana all game long. And every time it dies, it's so disposable. You just keep getting back more and more Death Touch Snakes. Then we have our Tutors. Our Tutors here, very staples for Commander. I actually wish Tutors would be banned in Commander to help with the variance, but that's just my personal feelings. Increasing Ambition, search a card for a library, flashback it for 8, you get 2 cards, so 3 cards out of 1. Beseech the Queen, you get to search for how many lands you have, basically. So you have 3 lands, its converted mana costs 3 or less. If you have more of them, you can find it. Good old Sidisi, Undead Vizier, and this one, you exploit a card, so it actually helps with Liliana, and tutors up a card, and gives you a 4/6 Death Toucher, and is a perfect card to put up Mimic Vat or Nim's Death Mantle. Diabolical Intent, this one's great because you sacrifice a creature, flipping Liliana, and go get a card. And then the best tutor, the Demonic Tutor, great card. We have a Diabolic Tutor as well. Not bad. Kind of expensive as a 4-mana tutor. Control. not a lot of control in this deck. We want other people to play the control deck and then get run over by Krenko like we did. So I actually removed my Infest, Drown in Sorrows, Black Sun Zenith was in here at first, and then like I want to play more of a casual route. And then of course Zach, hashtag, what is our hashtag, Zach?
Blame Zach.
Blame Zach. Hashtag Blame Zach plays Krenko, and no one interacts with Krenko, and we all die very quickly. So Blood Chief Ascension, just if you're playing black, you're playing Blood Chief Ascension in Commander. This card is insane, and it has a combo with Mind Crank. I did not put the combo in here, but Blood Chief Ascension is stupid good. Exquisite Blood just helps you stabilize versus all your opponents. It actually paints a pretty hard target on your head though if you play this card. I don't have Sanguine Bond in here for the Infinite combo, but thought I'd put it anyway. Siphon Flesh, each player sacrifices a creature, each other player, and you get a 2/2 zombie. So we were playing a 5-way commander. This would have given me 4 2/2 zombies. Grave Pact, whenever a creature I control dies, each other person sacks a creature, and its cousin Dictate of Erebos as well. We also have Call of the Grave, which makes people sack zombies at the end of their upkeep. Then we have kind of what our token generation cards. We have a Zathir Necromancer. Whenever a Zathir Necromancer or another human creature you control dies, put 2/2 zombie creature token. Another thing you can do with... Oh, I don't have this. This probably needs to get cut, actually, from here. It's probably not strong enough. In my Grim deck, there's a card that permanently changes the creature type of something on your, or to the text of something, and you change this whenever a zombie creature you control dies. Put a zombie into play. But anyway, I'll show you the Grim deck text someday, and that's in there. We have the Rutlung Reanimator. We actually do have a few more clerics, but I don't think that these are powerful enough in this deck. I probably need to cut these. Then the good old Grave Titan. It's a great finisher. Puts out a bunch of 2/2s each when it comes to play and when it attacks. And I told you that it's got the Ashnod's Altar combo. And Liliana's Reaver. If anyone wants to leave themselves open, you get a 2/2 and make them discard a card. All got Death Touch, not bad. And then finally, how do we win the game? These are our finishers. We have the Vengeful Dead, which says whenever Vengeful Dead or another zombie is put into graveyard from play, each opponent loses a life. We have Greymersh of Asphodel. If your devotion is high enough, this just kills everyone. Each opponent loses X life and you gain X life. We have White Precinct 6, which is just a huge beater. By the end game, it can be like a 40-40 easily. I'm telling you, it gets that big. The Falconwrath Noble can have an infinite combo with the Memnite, Ashes of Fallen, or Gravecrawler type ability, where it just keeps sacrificing Ashnod's Altar to add a black mana and then recast Gravecrawler, sack it, recast Gravecrawler, sack it, recast for infinite life. Blood Artist is the other piece to that. Exsanguate is another piece with, if you can generate that infinite mana combo, then you can kill each opponent. And the Gem Palm Polluter, you may cycle and have target player lose 1 life for each zombie to play. There's a way to get a ton of tokens to play, and that is basically our finisher. So Liliana is cool in this deck because when it does flip, you do get a zombie into play. And she's a 2/3 lifeliner, keeps coming back with very, very relevant abilities, especially with the dying effects, and you get them back into play. So that's my first take at Liliana. I'm sure you can go a controller out with her, but with Commander, I tend to do a lot of tribal things, and I thought she'd make a good tribal zombie deck. So hope you guys enjoyed this. If you enjoyed this, we'll do some other Commander video deck techs in the future. Until now, I'll have to show you the Taste of deck again. I just want to get this before, if you notice the playmat here. We got a good old Tellurian Community College playmat. Big shout out to him. He does, if you're interested in Commander deck techs, he does plenty of them on his channel, and they're very well done. So big shout out to Tellurian Community College. Anyway, this has been Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com. Thanks for watching.